Hey guys, what's up? In today's video, we will learn how we can create an org chart in Power App. This is the org chart that we will build today, and what it is showing right now, it is showing the logged in user and all the reportee of that user. If I click on any of these profile card, it will start displaying the information about that user, who is the manager, and who are the different direct reportee for this user. I can select any other user and it will start showing me information about that user. I can go back, select another one and keep going, right? So this is what we are going to learn today. If you like it, then stay tuned. We will start without wasting any more minute. Hey guys, I'm Deepak Shrivastava and welcome to my channel. So to start creating the org chart, if you notice here, we have the three sections here. The top part is showing me the manager and the profile and all the direct reportees. Okay, so let's start create an app. So I logged into Power App and I'm going to create a Canvas app. Okay, so app is ready. Now before you do anything, go to the app. On start, we are going to create a variable. So the variable name is current user, and this will hold the logged in user email. Okay, and click on these three dots and click on run on start. So this variable will have this information. Okay, the second thing that we need to do, go to the settings, go to the upcoming features, experimental, and we're gonna select the formula label error management true. Okay, so we done our pre-setting. Now what we're gonna do, go to the screen and we are going to insert our first gallery. Okay, and this gallery will hold the current user profile. So I'm gonna rename it. Okay, so this is my current user profile. And to get the current user profile, we need to create a connection. So go to the data source, click on add data, search for Office 365 users. This connector will give you the information about the logged in user and all the users in your Office 365 or M365 tenant. Okay, so create that connection. Go to the gallery data source, Office 365 users dot user profile v2, and this is where you need to pass the user principal name or ID. That's nothing but the email. And if you remember, we created that variable, so I'm going to pass that variable here. Good. Okay, now the next thing we need to do, we need to update this gallery. I'm going to update these labels. This should be the display name, job title. We don't need this arrow, and if I go back to here, we also don't need this separator. Okay, now the image. So we need to get the user profile picture. This is not going to give me the user profile picture. What it is giving me, all the information about this user, but the profile picture. So for that, I need to make another Office 365 call, and that is user photo. Okay, select that, and as you can see, I'm going to pass the same variable current user, and this will bring me the picture. Okay, now of course you can add more labels here as you need the information that you like to show. So for example, if you like to display the department, right, you can keep adding those different label and display the information that you need. If you remember, in my I have these round pictures. So if you want to do that, the only thing you need to do, go to the height, make it self dot width. So we're going to keep the height and width same, and we're going to also resize it a little bit, and then you need to update the border radius to, let's say, 30, and your image is circular. Okay, resize it. I'm going to resize these as well. Then of course, from the user experience point of view, you can make a lot of changes, but one change that you definitely need to make is the height and width. So I'm going to make the width for this gallery is 350 and height is 180. Okay, and template height also I'm going to make 180, the same as our gallery height. And then you can add more information as needed. So this is what I'm going to show the address as: city, street address, and state. Okay, so my card is ready. Now next, what I'm going to do, I'm going to set some background color for this one. Okay, so this user profile card is ready. It is displaying me the logged in user information. If you remember the app that I was showing you, it is also responsive, as you can see, right? So to make this responsive, one thing that we need to make sure that this gallery that right now sitting somewhere on the screen should always align to the center. Okay, so for that we need to play with this x coordinate, and I'm going to say the x should be the parent dot width divided by 2 minus self dot width divided by 2. This will make sure that this stay on the center. Then I'm going to insert a rectangle. This is nothing but to display that line coming from top to bottom. Okay, so I'm going to say this width is 1, height is 50, and color is gray. Okay, so this part is good. And another rectangle, this is for the horizontal line. The width, parent dot width, so whatever the screen width, x is 0, so it should start from the 0. Okay, and height is 1. Okay, now the next thing that we need is another gallery for showing all the reporting, right? So I'm going to drop another gallery here, and width for this gallery should be parent dot width. Okay, so this will take entire space. We don't need this icon, and we also don't need the separator, so delete those two things. Okay, now we need to set the data source. So this time we're still going to use the Office 365 users dot direct report v2, and if you notice, it is also asking for you to pass the user principal, and we know we have a variable, so I'm going to pass that. And then if you look at the response, it is not really giving you profiles, instead it's giving you the value. So what I need to do, dot value. Okay, now this will give me all the reporting for the current user. So this part is data part is done. Now we need to do the very same thing as we did for this card. We need to update the user profile picture, and as we know, we need to make another call for that in this item dot user principal name. Okay, so this will get the picture, and if you want this picture to also be circular, the same thing that we need to do, make the height self dot width, and then border radius 30, and the first label should show me the display name, and the second should be job title. First, we need to update the template size, and I'm going to say the template size should be 100, and then I need to reduce the width for these title as well. It's too long. Okay, so the width, I'm just saying parent dot width, parent dot template width minus 104. Okay, the next thing that I need to do, select any of these control that you have inside this second gallery and insert an image. Okay, and width for this image should be parent dot template width minus 15, and height should be parent dot template height minus 15. Okay, x 5 and y 5. Okay, and then I'm gonna add a background image for these profile, and you can select any background image that you like, or you can discard if you don't want to set these background picture. I'm gonna make this fill, and then we need to make sure that it is sent to back. Now what this is going to do is going to make this profile card look like a card. Now because we want to make this responsive, we need to play around with the wrap count. So wrap count should be parent dot size. Okay, now if you don't know what is this thing, I actually have another video on how to create responsive gallery. Go ahead and watch that. A link will be in this video. But this actually give me a number based on the size of the screen. So right now I'm on my laptop, it is giving me 4. As I move from laptop to the tab, it will be 2 or 3, and when I move to the mobile, it will be 1. Okay, so based on that, it's going to automatically wrap. So this part is done. The next we need to do, we need to make sure that when I click on any of these profile card, our current user should update, and then I should see the org chart for that user that I'm selecting. So go to on select here, and we are just going to set that same variable that we have to this item dot. Okay, now let's run the app and see. So right now it's showing me the logged in user, that's me, and all the reportees. If I'm going to click on any of these, as you can see, it's changed. Now the current user become Chris, and it is displaying all the reportee for this user, right? So we have created that relationship. Okay, so that part is done. Now one thing that we also need to show the manager of the current user that we are selecting, the third gallery. Okay, and before you go forward, we need to also make sure this connector between the user profile and the reportee should be also aligned to the center when you're going to change the screen. So like we did for this gallery, the same logic will apply here, and X you need to just make like this. So then it will remain on the center. Okay, so for the manager, drop another gallery here. Now you might be wondering that why I'm using gallery if I'm just going to show the one profile. That's correct, you don't need to. I just personally prefer gallery because it's easy to work with it. You can actually, for manager and for the current profile, you can directly add control and show the data that you are receiving from the user profile. So you can definitely do that. Okay, so this is the gallery. So the item Office 365 users dot manager, right? There is an action called manager v2, and of course it's asking you to pass the ID, so I'm going to pass the current user. Okay, so this will give me the manager information. Let me change these headings. So this should be the display name, and for the picture, we need to make that Office 365 user photo action call. You don't need this, you don't need separator. Okay, and this time the template size I'm going to set to 86 or 85, and width 300, and then I'm going to copy this X format for this profile, so it will align the center, and then we need to create this simple connecting line. So I'm going to just copy it, what I have here, update the X property so that it will also remain center, and let's give some background color for the manager as well. Gallery height we need to set to 85 as well. Okay, so I can click on different user, I can go back. We cannot because we have not set up this thing. So as we were doing on select of this gallery, setting up this information, we need to do the same here. So on the manager gallery, go to the on select and set the variable to the current user. Okay, let's run it, click here. Perfect. Okay, so you see there's an error here. Let's see what that error is saying. It's saying that it cannot find the photo, and that's correct because for this user there is no direct reportee. So we need to handle this problem, and I'm going to replace this with another formula. And if you look at this, so what I'm checking right now, if getting the user profile picture throw an error, then I'm going to just show you the sample image. Else I'm going to show the actual user profile picture. Okay, so now let's play that. Now if I go to this user and if I click back, there's no error. Okay, so this is how you can handle this error. Now let's go to the top profile. Now in my Office 365, for this user, for me, there is no manager. So that's why you are seeing this top gallery empty. If I cancel, you might see there's a lot of error, and the same thing what was happening in this child profile, because there is no manager, so it cannot find it and it's throwing error. So what we need to do, we need to apply the same logic as we did for the child, and we need to check for the error. So what we will say, if error, okay, so if this is throwing an error, I'm gonna pass just an empty thing, and else, perfect, right? So if this is an error, then do not pass anything, just pass empty. If it is not, that means if the user has manager, then show the manager. Then we have the same thing for the profile picture, and we already did that. So I'm gonna do the same logic here. Okay, so when there is no manager, we need to hide this gallery. Okay, so what we need to do on the visual property, I'm gonna use a simple formula here. Okay, so what I'm checking, if I'm getting the first item. It's actually going to have just one item anyway. Dot user principal name, and if that is blank, then hide this, else keep it true. When there is no manager, and if you look at our data source, I am actually passing an empty object, right? So the user principal name is going to be empty, and this will hide it. The same logic I'm going to apply on this connector line. Okay, now let's run this app. So this is showing me the logged in user. As soon as I'm going to click on the next user, it will change. Now it is displaying me all the reportee and the manager for this user. I can keep going and it will keep displaying. So this user has only 3 reportee. Because we have not done anything, the gallery item of the card is going to be the left align. So what we need to do in this case, we need to make sure that based on the number of cards and also based on the size of the screen, the X for this gallery adjusts itself. Okay, right now it's 0, so everything is on the left line. For example, if I make it 100, it's going to move the gallery to the right, and that's what we need, but we want it to be dynamically happening. Okay, so for that, I'm going to copy paste the formula that I have used, and I'll walk you through. So what I'm doing here, first I'm checking what is the parent size. That means where this app is getting access on. If it is size 1 or size 2, that means either it's on mobile or it's on the tab. We don't need to make any changes, we just need to keep it left aligned. But if it is not that case, and if we are accessing the app from the laptop, I'm going to get the count of the gallery 2. Gallery 2 is the gallery that's displaying the reportee. Okay, and if the number of item, right, number of reportee, if it is 1, then we are passing this formula. So what we are saying, parent.width divided by 2 minus self.template width divided by 2. So what's going to do is going to move the single card to the center. If there are 2 reportee, then this formula, and if there are 3 reportee, then we are using this formula. If it's more than 3, then we are gonna just keep the gallery left aligned. Okay, so this simple formula will help you keeping it centrally aligned, no matter how many reportee or how many cards you are displaying underneath that current profile. Okay, let's run it, and you can see the difference. Now it is centrally aligned. If I go back and try to open another, right? So there's only one reportee for Teresa, and it is just centrally aligned. Okay, yeah, so this is all. This is how easy and quickly you can create these org chart using the Office 365 user connector and some logic applying on these gallery. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Keep watching, keep learning. Thank you.